Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Scientology from a Scientologist perspective. I'm going to be covering two articles today by an author named Rod Keller. They were both posted on the Underground Bunker. The first one is going to be evidence that Scientology is adopting an anti-vaxx strategy with political aspirations. This was posted on July 21st, 2019. The second one is titled How Scientology Treats a Member in Real Need Strains the Notion of the Word Church. This one was posted on July 7th, 2019. Both of these were posted on the Underground Bunker, which is tonyortega.org. Stay tuned, find out what I think. Alright guys, so let's get into this. Scientology and an anti-vax strategy. Am I surprised? Of course not. Scientology. Pretty much nothing's going to surprise me at this point. But Rod Keller starts off this article by introducing us to another arm of Scientology, yet it's not an official arm at this point in time. It's called the Conscious Coalition. And it says it's a new group of Scientologists that do not have official blessing from the church yet, but it has connections with the OSA. If you don't know what the OSA is, it is the Office of Special Affairs, which is kind of their like CIA branch of Scientology. Its former name was the Guardians Alliance or something of that nature. I can't remember right off the top of my head right now, but so that is its official tie is to the Office of Special Affairs. So if the Office of Special Affairs is rubber stamping this, then yes, this is another one of those arms of Scientology. Their goal is, quote, to protect our fundamental right to freedom of conscience, which includes freedom of thought, belief, and religion, is secure for every individual, end quote. It's vague, but of course, this is like a Scientology thing. Everything that they do or say has like very vague meanings. That way they can kind of mold it to do or say or cover whatever they want it to do, say, or cover. So there's a bunch of pictures on this blog of members of this coalition posing at different events with different people, blah, 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 blah. So all the members of this conscious coalition are Scientologists with the exception of maybe about one or two. So let's go through the members of the coalition. So the most notable one is Greg Mitchell, who is a registered lobbyist for Scientology. He's received $500,000 from the church over the past 5 years. So yeah, I'd say he's a big fish. His wife is Renee Besson. She's also in the group. Her title is founder and chair of the organization. So I would say that's also a pretty good tie there to Scientology. Now here is the one person that doesn't have like a direct tie to Scientology. It's Jonathan Lockwood. He's a radical conservative political operative who has ran attack ads against a U.S. senator back in 2015. And this is kind of what he said on, this looks to be like a Facebook type thing. The media won't tell you the truth about what went into getting these psych facilities shut down and will act like the Dems who cleaned up shop. But those of us who raised awareness, demanded action, and exposed what was happening, we did it. The important thing is that we must ensure that the evil people who profit off these psych camps don't just create new shell companies to make it look like they're a new facility. Sequel Youth and Family Services is the merged version of Sequel and Clarendon Academy. $400+ million merger. The sequel is the replacement for Youth International Services. The fight is not over, it's just begun, but this is welcome good news. He is considered an ally of Scientology due to, of course, as you can see, his views on psychology being similar to Scientology, obviously. So, going down through here, the coalition has shown its support for anti-vaxx because Mitchell supported the New York ultra-Orthodox Jewish community during the whole anti-vaxx fight that went on in New York City. That was during a measles outbreak. There's even a video of Renee Basson, but we're going to get to that in a minute. The coalition also opposes psychiatry and promotes religious freedom. Mitchell founded the International Religious Freedom Roundtable and supports legislation to protect freedom of religion. This is what Scientology is paying for, as the group's website states. The Church of Scientology International supports the firm's multi-faith works as part of its selfless social mission to advance religious freedom at all. That's what they say, at all. They fully understand that a rising tide lifts all boats. Now, we all know Scientology is not promoting religious freedom for everyone. They are promoting religious freedom because they know that is going to cover their ass. Now, he has started this coalition, this International Religious Freedom Roundtable, and it's supposed to be a multi-religious group. But everybody that's in this coalition is Scientologist. So the coalition's first target is not religious at all. Their first target is in opposition of SB 276, which is a California bill, and it's intended to examine medical exemptions to vaccinations. So they're still hard on this vaccination route. They started in New York by supporting the religious beliefs of the Orthodox Jews. Now they've taken this to California. Now, California's bill is SB 276. Now, this is for children attending schools, okay? So, here's what it is. At this time right now, before the bill, doctors only have to write a letter stating that vaccines may be dangerous to children's health and the child should be exempt from the requirements of taking the vaccines. That letter gets submitted to the school. The child is allowed to enter the school without taking the vaccines. That unvaccinated child is then led into a school where there may be a child that's immune deficient or has something else going on. They may be exposed to something else, which is now this other child that has some type of disorder is now exposed to, and boom, you've got a problem. Well, this SB 276 will require a doctor to make this statement under the penalty of perjury now. See, beforehand, the doctor could just like rubber stamp a letter because the mom's just like, oh, I read something on Google or I saw something on Facebook and I don't want my kid taking that. Which is a lot of these parents. They're not really doing any type of research. They see something on Facebook, they see something on Twitter, they saw something in a mommy's group somewhere, and now they don't want their kid vaccinated. So now the bill is requiring these letters to be it's now a purgeable offense. Also, the state will examine exemption letters from doctors who write 5 or more letters per school year. So if you got one of these just like rubber stamping doctors, the state's going to look into it. Also, states would examine the records of any school that reports immunization rates less than 95%. So if you've got a school that they're showing immunization records at 94% or less, the state's going to look into their records. So this makes sure that exemption records are accurate and not based on parents' fears for vaccinations. It's making it where it's more based on actual health requirements, actual issues with that child, which is what it needs to be in the first place. So, of course, here we go. There's a YouTube video out with Renee Basson preaching against this bill. There's Facebook ads out talking against it. So then Greg Mitchell has even met with the VP, Mike Pence, so that the coalition does seem to be gaining some support here. So I mean, this is getting to be a big deal. Like they're getting these like high up meetings. So the round table is getting some support, not just at smaller levels, but like at national levels here. So Scientology is using Greg Mitchell and a pop singer by the name of Joy Vila, Joy Vila, who's also a Scientologist, and all these other kind of higher up Scientologists with lower profiles than Tom Cruise. These are the people that have the money, but they don't have the reputation that go along with the money, to start kind of edging away and kind of moving Scientology out and up. So they're using these people to gain access and influence into the White House. You've got Greg meeting with the vice president. Joy's been doing some small interviews, getting, some influence out there. And this is a very scary thought. Like, this is a thought that kind of will wake you up in the middle of the night going, oh shit. Like, this is scary. So that is Scientology moving into an anti-vax realm here. So it doesn't surprise me, really and truly, to tell you, it really does not surprise me. Okay guys, this one's going to be a little different because we're going to look into this woman's actual Facebook page. So first we're going to start off with a little bit of how we're framing this. So we don't know this lady's actual name, so we're going to call her Grace. But she's going through a divorce. She has some untreated medical problems, and she has come to Clearwater. She's come to Clearwater, Florida. She's trying to turn things around, going through a divorce, trying to get her medical problems all kind of straightened out. But she's not allowed on Flag Base. So now she's on Facebook. She's desperate and asking her friends in Scientology for help. So let's go through her post and see what we have here. So Grace writes, sorry, I need help, and I need help in several different areas. I guess I should start at the beginning and let you know that I helped my husband build 2 dental practices. Then about 5 years into our marriage, I became debilitatingly ill, which lasted for 10 years. I still struggle, but I'm much better than I was. My husband is asking for a divorce. He doesn't want to pay me any kind of support. He already pays spousal support for one ex-wife until she dies, and he does. I need to find some way of supporting myself fully immediately. I'm not good at math, and I'm not good with money, which has not been an issue till now because my husband was happy to be in full control of our finances. And it was fine with me because I thought he and I would remain married for the rest of our lives, and he would continue to be in control of the money. Now I find myself in some dire financial duress. I am trying to help myself, but I have many challenges. After 10 years of trying to handle my body with little improvement, I finally decided to address the spiritual side of my issues. I redid a Purif, finished SRD, which I'm going to cover in another video, just a side note. Did a progress program to get up to date on my grades. My husband then gifted me his flag money as part of the divorce settlement, but I can't get approved for flag because of my physical challenges that remain. Upon arriving at flag, I found an FSM, but there's only so much he can do. I just want to be clear, this is not an FSM cycle. I would have to find some other way of exchanging. I have flag accommodations paid for and a food account that I can't utilize because I don't have okay to be on base property because of my physical issues. My husband feels that his responsibilities in this is over. He has done what he can and is no longer willing to help me. My physical challenges are low blood sugar episodes. When they happen during the night, it wakes me up. Holding a job will be difficult. For instance, today I have only achieved 4 hours of sleep so far. When these episodes happen during the day, I panic and become confused. I also suffer from fatigue. It has dawned on me quite recently that I may be PTS. I have a plan to go in session for this, but first I need to handle my financial PTPs. I also suspect that I have an out-in situation, which I also plan to handle in session as soon as I get my finances in good and happy place. I am at the very bottom rung of the ladder. I'm trying to climb back up, but there are so many barriers and hurdles. Even though I help my husband build his businesses, there's a lot I don't know about a lot of things, and that's where I need help. I have an ethics program from Flag, and I need help in implementing it. I need to do conditions by dynamics and exchange by dynamics. Anyway, TIA for your consideration. Okay, so let's go through what's going on here, okay? So Grace has a lot of stuff going on. She helped her husband build 2 dental practices. He's been married before. He's paying spousal support. He wants a divorce from her. He's given her his money for Flag, but she's not allowed on the Flag base. He feels like he's done everything he's going to do. He's told her, I'm not doing anything else. And she's accepting this. You're probably wondering why. Well, let's break all of this down. So, in a normal marriage, in this type of situation, a judge would have looked at the assets, he would have split the assets, she would have gotten a settlement, the husband would have been left some things, she would have gotten some of the things, and things would have been split. But not in Scientology, because you cannot sue another Scientologist and stay in good standings. For her to stay in good standings with the church, she left a 15-year marriage, by what he was willing to gift her and walked away. Are you joking me? Are you seriously joking me? A 15-year marriage. She helped him build 2 dental practices, which means you know he's got some money, and he gave her what he had on the books for Flag, and he thought that that was good enough. This woman has no place to live. She has no money. She has no ability to hold down a job because you know she's been sick for 10 years and you gave her what you had on the books at Flag. You knew she couldn't get the money. But that aside, now let's cover why she can't get on Flag base. So since the Lisa McPherson episode that happened in 1995, and for those of you that don't know what happened, Google Lisa McPherson. Scientology seriously, royally screwed the pooch on that one. And people should have gone down for that. But of course, there were enough Scientologists willing to cover David Miscavige's ass on that one. And so he did. Anyway, because of that incident, the sick and the elderly are no longer allowed on flag base. Grace here falls into that category because she's sick. So because of those medical issues, she's not allowed on flag base, which means she can't use her divorce settlement at all, which is something, one, that her husband knew. She probably didn't realize that, but I guarantee you he knew that. So she has no access to that money. So then she goes on to say that Flag Ethics gave her these conditions because this is kind of a way of them saying that they're working with her so that she can access that money because, you know, this is Scientology's way of getting out of paying her. Because supposedly, due to their tax-exempt status, if she were to ask for that money, due to that tax-exempt status, they would have to give it to her. But now they're working with her to give her a way to access that money so she wouldn't ask for it. So Ethics gave her the two programs. Now it's the conditions by ethics, conditions by dynamics, and exchange by dynamics. But she can't do them at Flag because she can't go on the property. And these two procedures are usually run together. So let's go through what these are. So in conditions by dynamics, a person and a coach assign conditions to each of LRH's 8 dynamics. This is not auditing. They go through the conditions, which are power change, affluence, normal operation, emergency, danger, non-existence, liability, doubt, enemy, treason, and confusion. And you start by assigning a condition to each of the dynamics, which are self, family, group, mankind, the animal kingdom, the physical universe, spirit, and infinity. And then you formulate then the formula for handling the condition of each dynamic is run. So you have to go through how you would fix that problem with that condition or for that dynamic. Like for confusion, it's just find out where you are. But for for the other conditions, it could be more involved. So she has to figure out how to fix each of the problems for her dynamics or whatever. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's stupid. I think most of the stuff in Scientology is stupid. And I don't understand how most people get sucked in. But okay, whatever. So exchange by dynamics is similar. This one I found a little bit more confusing and it didn't really make sense to me. So I'm just going to read it right off the website. It says, on a large piece of paper, the 8 dynamics are listed down the left side and also on the right. Lines are drawn as the connection between each dynamic and all the others are examined. The 2 procedures could each be done in a day and are not something that costs money. It's just nobody wants to help Grace because she's PTS. See, this is the problem. Grace is on Facebook and she's begging people, help me, please help me. These are my problems. She's laying everything out. And granted, since I'm not huge on religion anyway, but I can say this, in most other normal religions, if you ask for help, somebody is willing to help you. Now, granted, they shove a bunch of religion down your throat, but they are willing to help you. But in Scientology, nobody's willing to help you unless you have money to give them. Because in the end, the only thing that they really worship is the almighty dollar. So, Grace also says in there that she wants to handle her she thinks that she's suffering from PTS, which she wants to go in session for once she gets her financial situation figured out. She could pay for the PTS handling at Flag with her Flag money, but she can't go on the base. And you're going, well, why can't she just transfer that somewhere else? Because, logic. But here's the problem. Like, you put money on the books. Like, you can move that money from, like, a mission to an org. You can move that money from an org to an advanced org. You can move that org from an org to, like, a St. Hill org. You can move that money from a St. Hill org to Flag. But the money never goes back down. Like, you can't move it from Flag to a St. Hill org. You can't move it from a St. Hill org to an advanced org. You can't move it from an advanced org to an org. You can't move it from an org to a mission. It doesn't go back down the hill. It just keeps moving up the hill. So, it's a Flag. It's not going anywhere else. It's like reached the plateau. So her money's stuck. So she can't do anything. The money's there. There's nothing else she can do. Then she also talks about having an in and out situation. So what is an in and out situation? So it says an in and out. The PC is either stuck out or stuck in his body and can't move freely as a thing. It says the theory is that this builds up charge. It is a diagnosis frequently used as an excuse. Then auditing does. It is frequently used as an excuse that auditing does not work. So, like, if you're getting auditing and your auditing's not working, they go to, you have an out and in. And then you have to pay more money because you have an out and in, and then they got to figure that out. And, it's always another way to get money out of you. So then they wrap up this by talking to Chris Shelton, which Chris Shelton is like one of the top people about speaking out about Scientology. And Chris Shelton commented by saying, Scientology tells you that your problems are all your fault. They trust the church, then they get thrown under the bus and nobody cares. The assumption is that if she were ethical, she'd have money and wouldn't be in this situation. So again, it all falls back on Grace. It's all Grace's fault. Everything that happened to Grace is Grace's fault. The illness is Grace's fault. The divorce is Grace's fault. Her not having any money is Grace's fault. Her being stuck is Grace's fault. And nobody's there to help her. So again, here you have yet again another situation where this is not a church. This is not a church. This is a cult, people. This is another example of this being a cult. I don't know how many times it has to be pointed out. This is another example of this being a cult. Okay, guys, so we've reached the end. Down in the comment section below, let me know, what is your stand on anti-vaxx? Do you think it should be just because a child has a medical issue, or do you believe religious beliefs should play a role in it? I personally believe that you should only not vaccinate your children in cases of medical need. Also, on the case of Grace, what are your thoughts on how the Church of Scientology is showing that they are not a church, but a cult? And how they are not helping this woman who obviously is trying everything she can to be a member. But because she doesn't have the money in hand, they have turned their back on her. Let me know down in the comment section down below what you think. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button with that bell next to it so that you're notified every single time I upload a video. In the description box, you'll find my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and email. If you want me to cover a certain article, or you find an article that you think I would love to read and write a video on, go ahead and send it to me. And if I cover that article and do a video on it, I will shout you out in that video. That's going to do it for me today. I'll see you in the next one.